guys, check out the next level games for all your TCG needs. Link is down below in the description of the video. Thanks, guys.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we're covering the top 10 cards of Unified Minds. Yes, this will be the first time we actually talk about these set on Team Fish Knuckles. Now, I know probably a bunch of the YouTube channels have already recorded decks and played profiles, stuff like that, but that's not what we do here in the channel. We like to take our time. There's no real reason to rush. I guess we could rush and get the early views and blah, 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 but I mean, we're going to play this format for a long time, and then the rotation is kind of hard to play, so you have to really pretty much play in real life right now, or when the rotation does happen on PTCGO, you gotta play with friends, which that's what I'm aiming for. So if you want to actually start testing this stuff, you can go to Limitless, and they actually have a proxy that you can use to print out. That's where I got these cards from. So shout out to Limitless. I'll have a link down below to that proxy thing where you can print out your proxies. They actually have it where you can print it in black and white as well, which is very nice. It doesn't use as much ink if you do want to start testing Unified Minds. I think pre-releases are this weekend or next weekend. They're coming up very soon, so these cards are going to start coming live. And I thought, you know, why not? Let's start covering Unified Minds. I think my pre-release is this Saturday. If we do go to it, I'll have to wait and see. But what I did is I made posts everywhere on the Pokemon's stuff, I guess on Facebook and different groups like that, and I said, hey, what are your 5 favorite cards from Unified Minds? And out of that, I made a top 10 list from all the community posts I got. So this is not my input. This is the input I got from all the different votes from the community, which I like doing this better because no matter what, people are going to argue with me or the community. So I thought, you know, let's come together, let's make a group, and if you want to participate in this, the best way to do that is follow the Team Fish Knuckle page on Facebook down below. Go like that page, and then maybe if we get more likes, or maybe if we get a lot of interest in this, then maybe we'll do more. We have done this a couple times for other sets, just because I don't like putting my input into it because I haven't tested this set. But let's go over the top 10 cards, I guess top 10 best cards from Unified Minds based off the community. So I don't think we'll see any Aerodactyl, but we definitely might see the card on the left later on. So at 10th place, we have Giant Furnace. At first, it seemed, you know, it's a really good card. Like, I like it a lot. It helps. It's going to help fire decks a lot. But it says once during each player's turn, that player may discard a card from their hand. If they do, that player may search their deck for up to 2 fire energies, reveal them, and put them into their hand. Then that player shuffles their deck. So that's obviously really good with fire, right? I mean, you're going to use Giant Furnace. You're going to help set up, find all your stuff. Then you get not Blacksmith, Welder. Sorry, I'm getting my trainer cards confused. You can Welder onto whoever you want to. The thing you get to worry about when you play Giant Furnace, though, is some of the fire decks are playing, like, what, Power Plant? I think that's what it's called. So it's a weird combination of, all right, how do I balance Giant Furnace and Power Plant? But we still have Big Viridian Forest was. So, I mean, Viridian Forest only got 1 energy, and now you get 2 fire energies, and you always just discard a fire energy, and then get back later. So that's a very cool thing to do. Obviously, we see why Giant Furnace is in the spot for number 10, but remember, it is only fire energy, so that could be a bad thing, but there's going to be plenty of toolbox decks as well that could benefit from Giant Furnace. I know the new Mewtwo tag team that we'll talk about later could definitely take advantage of that, as well as other decks that do use the Welder, because it's 2 fire energies. You don't have Pokemon in your field, so you know, just be able to get consistent fire energies out. It's very nice. So, you know, Giant Furnace definitely deserves a spot in top 10. So next up in number 9, it's going to be Naga Needle GX. Now, it does have a cool ability. It has the Ultra Conversion. Once during your turn before you attack, you may discard an Ultra Beast card from your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards. So it's basically like Zoroark GX, right? You could discard a card, but this one, it has to be an Ultra Beast. Now, I haven't tested this set. I don't know what Naga Needle would pair up with, but, I mean, the first thing that comes in mind is the other Naga Needle. You can play Naga Needle Stakataka still. I'm pretty sure those cards still exist. I haven't looked at the rotation 100% either, but I imagine that stuff still exists. So if you can play Naga Needle with Naga Needle GX and Stakataka and be able to Ultra Conversion to draw more cards, seems really good. Now, I don't know what healing cards we've lost. You know, I think we've lost Max Potion for sure. I think, you know, the other only real cards are going to be like the Herbal thing. Like I said, I haven't looked too much into it, but maybe some kind of Naga Needle, Naga Needle deck could work. There's probably some other Ultra Beast deck, and I really haven't played with Ultra Beast too much, so I'm not sure. Maybe you can make some kind of toolbox deck that I'm not aware of. Venom Shock, you know, discard 2 energy from his Pokemon. This attack does 170 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Don't apply weakness and resistant. I mean, don't apply weakness and resistance for bench Pokemon. I mean, you could actually play this in like maybe Basufleon, but then like you only have one Ultra conversion, and then I don't know, it's weird, right? You have to discard your Ultra Beast, and there's really not a good way to get back your Ultra Beast instead of Brock's Grit in the new format. Venom Shock could be really nice though. Maybe you could play like triple acceleration energy or something. You do 170 to a bench Pokemon, knock it out to Dedenne or something like that. That definitely is something you can do because Dedenne is going to be played everywhere, and then it's 160 HP, so that's something you can do for sure. And Injection GX, add a card from your opponent's discard pile to their prize card to face down. I mean, if you're going to do this, you might as well just play the other... Is it the other Naga Needle? Yeah, I think it's that one. I can't remember the one... I think it's Naga Needle, that one, like, one words, Distinguished GX. Yeah, I think, you know, that one seems a lot better. But, I mean, if you want to put your opponent have more price cards, sure, go for it. But it's a lighting energy. That's really awkward. But I wonder what Naga Needle decks we'll see. If you have any ideas, let me know. That's one thing I'm also looking for, is see what decks we kind of play this stuff with. So next up is going to be Val GX. Now, Val GX is already a place in my heart because it reminds me of Hydreigon. Hydreigon lets you move your dark energies around, and so Val GX, as often as you like during the turn, it may move a basic dark energy from one of your Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. So it's a basic dark energy, right? I mean, it's still not bad, right? Basic dark, who cares? You're fine. I think it's a great card. I guess, you know, back then you could move like you know, any kind of dark energy with Hydreigon, but still, moving on your dark energies is going to be so cool, especially in expanded, being able to move your dark energies around any way you want to for, you know, just a stage 1, which is really cool. Claw Slash does 130 for 3 darks, not really, you know, the best attack for sure, but I guess it could attack if need be. Night Command GX, search for as many basic Pokemon as you like, and put them to your bench. That's a terrible GX attack. We're not using that card ever, or we're not using that GX attack ever. But Shadow Connection is just really nice. Being able to move your dark energies around from one of your Pokemon to another is fantastic. I actually forgot where we are in the countdown. So 10, 9, 8. Okay, so next up it's going to be 7. So in 7th place, we actually have another dark card, and that is Umbreon GX. 270 HP. It is a tag team. It's our first tag team on the list. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's our first tag team, so I thought. It has the attack Black Lance. It does 150, and this attack does 60 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon GX or bench Pokemon EX. Don't apply weakness or resistance for bench Pokemon. Now, this actually seems like a really big deal for me. We saw Darkrai EX, you know, it dominated the format, just doing 90 and 30 for 3 dark energies, and now you have the kind of the same attack, right? But you only get to her bench GX EX, which is kind of the downside, right? Like, you know, if you're playing against a non-GX EX deck, you know, you can't really snipe them, but man, can you imagine sniping a non-GX EX for 60 damage? Like, that would just knock out whoever. Dark Moon GX, your opponent can play any trainer cards from their hand during the next turn. If this Pokemon has at least 5 extra dark energy attached to him, in addition to the stat cost, your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out. So, that actually seems pretty cool. You know, we already have one kind of GX like this. The Darkrai GX has a similar kind of attack, but if they're affected by a special condition, they're knocked out. But if you have 5 extra dark energy to it, so 6, your opponent's active Pokemon is just knocked out. So that's actually a pretty cool GX move that we'll see probably for sure later on. But Dark has so many different GXs. So actually a Tyranitar and Mega Sableye did not make the list. That's a pretty cool GX tag that we might cover one day. It lets you like discard your opponent's like top 15 cards of the deck, which is really strong as well, but that didn't make the list. And I think it's like first attack, it lets you take an extra prize card. Don't quote me on that. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me see here. It's like Mega Sableye and Tyranitar GX. Yeah, that's what the card's called. Let me pull it up real quick so I can make sure I'm not crazy. Greedy Crush does 210. If your opponent's Pokemon GX is knocked out by damage from this deck, take one more prize card. So Mega Sableye is, you know, it's a good card by itself. It didn't make the countdown, like I said. Oh, this card is really big. I was going to try to show it off. Let's see if we can show it off to the picture real quick. There it is. There's a Mega Tyranitar GX. Like, it still looks, I think it looks cool. But yeah, be able to 210. You take an extra prize card, very strong. So you can kind of see how these two tag teams kind of go together. But like I said, Black Lance, definitely really strong. Just be able to, do 150, 60. It's going to be fantastic and help set up knockouts. So a very decent card for sure. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting the placement. So let's go back in order. 10, 9, 8, 7. All right, and I know people will be like, Josh, you should have wrote down notes. No, we're not writing down notes here. This is Team Fish Knuckles. We're not professional like that. So 6 is actually Habu. Habu is really, really close to Sage's Training. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck, choose 2 of them, and put them into your hand, discard the rest. Now, it might seem really bad, right? You're discarding 4 cards, but there's going to be plenty of decks that take advantage of Habu. One thing could be any deck that uses Naga Needle. Naga Needle, be able to get energies from your discard pile onto your Pokemon is really strong. There's going to be some toolbox decks that you need in the discard pile, as in Malamar decks. Malamar decks that would, it's pretty much the same Pokemon. I'm going to keep saying this Pokemon over and over again. Mewtwo can take advantage of Habu, be able to discard your Pokemon, put them in the discard pile. It's great. We did lose Ultra Ball, so Habu can help you get those in the discard pile. It can help you get lightning energy in the discard pile as well. It's not going to be played in every deck, but the decks it does take advantage of, it's going to be really, really cool. Be able to get certain cards in your discard pile is fantastic, and it can help consistency, which I do like a lot in this format, because we really don't have a lot of discard cards that I'm aware of right now. So in 5th place, let me make sure, I think it was 5th, right? So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 5th place is going to be Great Potion, which is pretty exciting to me, because I never seen a lot of people hyped for healing cards outside of Max Potion, but just heal 50 damage from your active GX Pokemon, which might seem crazy, right? But you gotta remember, these GX Pokemon have a ton of HP, so if you can play 3 or 4 of these in a turn, heal 150 to 200 HP, and make it where they have to now, like, 2 or 3 shot your tag teams again, you can just win games that way. So Great Potion is fantastic. There's really not much to say outside of this. Yes, it is only for GX, but I think that's fine. You're definitely going to be using this in your tag team decks. Yeah, you're going to be using your tag teams for sure. Just heal them. It's definitely going to be good in stall decks as well, be able to heal your stall Pokemon. That definitely is still going to be a thing coming up. There's some new stuff that stall did get in this set, but Great Potion, it's a great addition. We have a new healing card that we really haven't seen before. But in 4th place, I think this is where we start kind of noticing, like, okay, like these cards 5 through 10, they were very vast and different. Like the numbers were crazy everywhere. But 1 through 4, they were all really close. And in the 4th place spot, we have another tag team, and that is Raichu and Alolan Raichu GX. Or if you're a fan of Tricky Gem, people they're calling it Choo Choo right now, which I don't know if I feel comfortable calling this card Choo Choo. I'm gonna say Raichu, just Raichu tag team, I guess. I don't know. But it has the attack Tandem Shock. It does 80. If this Pokemon is on the bench, it became your active Pokemon this turn. This attack does 80 more damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. So not only do you get a boosted effect, right? You're doing 160 all of a sudden. Your opponent's Pokemon is now paralyzed. In a format where we don't have Guzma, surprise, if you don't know, Guzma rotates. I don't know where you've been. It's actually a really big deal, because now you're kind of just mostly relying on, like, Switch and stuff like that. I don't think there's an escape rope either. So, Switch is going to be the big card here. And if your deck doesn't play multiple Switches, you can easily start getting paralyzed with this Tandem Shock. They could 2-shot your tag teams, take a lot of damage, or take a lot of knockouts or the click. And still, 160 is a very, very strong attack. Only needed 3 lightning energies. And this is going to be easy for the lightning decks to accomplish. They're going to play Zeraora. They're going to have their Furry Retreat. We know how strong Zapdos was. Yes, I know it was a single prize Pokemon and whatever. I get that. It needs 1 energy. But still, it's Tandem Shock. It's going to be amazing. Of course, you still got your Tapu Koko Prism. That's going to be amazing. There's a new energy switch card for tag teams. You still have your energy switches as well. So being able to cycle between different Tandem Shocks is really cool. Then, of course, you could play that Great Potion. Oh, you're Raichu and Alolan Raichus. And now we're kind of in this weird gray area that I've seen people kind of talk about. And it's either, do you play just 1 Raichu and Alolan Raichu, or do you play multiple, like make a whole deck out of it? And that's actually a really good GX as well. There's Lightning Ride GX. It does 150. Switches Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If this Pokemon has at least 2 extra energy attached to it, in addition to this deck's cost, this deck does 100 more damage. So now you do 250 damage with the Raichu and the Alolan Raichu. That is a lot of damage. Now, of course, you can play Electro Power, and now you can start boosting up, just one is 280, another one is 310. So you can start just one-shotting stuff with this Lightning Ride GX for 5 energy, which is really cool. I do like it as well, because one thing you could do is you can actually swing with Pikachu Zekrom GX, put 30 Gs on Raichu and Alolan Raichu, next turn maybe Tandem Shock, and then the following turn just attach, maybe tag team switch, do 250, and you can win the game in easily like 3 turns. 4 turns, right? You still need 4 turns, you swing once with Pikachu Zekrom, you Tandem Shock them, and then you Lightning Ride GX them, but still, 260, that's a hard number to hit. It's a very cool card. I like Raichu and Alolan Raichu a lot. It seems like, Pokemon is really caring about their Lightning Tops a lot. They want to take care of their mascot Pikachu and make sure, it has a bunch of playable cards. So next up in the number 3 spot is actually going to be Reset Stamp. It's an item card. That's a big thing to note. And it says your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draw cards for each of the remaining prize cards. This is basically an in, but it's only for your opponent. And Reset Stamp is actually in a weird area. It's the same as Raichu and Raichu. Some people are playing like 4 Reset Stamps, right? They want to try to disrupt their opponent, put them at low cards as soon as possible. Some people are like, you know what? I don't want Reset Stamps at all my deck. I might play just 1. I might play just 0. But it's clogging my hands because early game, you're making your opponent shuffle to they have 6 cards in your hand, but late game is where this card kind of shines, right? You make it where your opponent only, shuffles their hand into deck, get 1, get 2 cards, and then you get to take a game from there. Reset Snap is really, really strong. We saw how big in comebacks were. There were so many times my friends that came up to me and said, oh, I got into 1 and a loss. Now we get to say, oh, I got Reset Stamp to 1 to loss. And the crazy thing, like I said, this is an item card. So, of course, there's going to be ways to disrupt your opponent's hand. And combine this with a Reset Stamp, you can make it multiple times when you put their hand down to 0. Of course, we're going to cover these decks eventually. But still, Reset Stamp, it's a really, really strong card. But it's definitely in that weird gray area. Do you play a lot of them? Does every deck play at least 1? Or does a lot of decks just play 0 and just say, you know what, I'm playing my deck more consistent. I want to be able to beat those Reset Stamp decks. So that's another thing you have to worry about, right? So in the number 2 spot is going to be Cherish Ball. Search deck for a Search deck for a Pokemon GX, reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. That's it. Pretty simple, right? Just Cherish Ball. We're just finding our GXs. We're helping set up, all that kind of good stuff. Like I said, the big thing about this format is we do lose Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball was in the format forever. I think since Dark Explorers. We're talking about like 2012, maybe 2011. I can't remember when exactly. I think like 2011 is when Dark Explorers came out. But still, we've had it in the game for almost 8 years now, and now we no longer have Ultra Ball. It's gone. And that's weird for me, right? I'm playing a format that Ultra Ball. I've never done this before. So, now we have like Pokemon Communication, we have Cherish Ball, we have like Netball, and that's pretty much it on top. Oh, Electromagnetic Radar, that's another one. And then, of course, you have cards, whatever it is gets your oh my goodness, this is why I probably should have wrote something in front of me so I can meet Ultra Base, so Ultra Space to get your Ultra Beast, Mysterious Treasure, of course. So there's very few cards, right? And if you do have a card, it's very specific. It's not like grab any card like it used to be. It's grab X card. So that's a big thing here. We don't have anything that can grab anything anymore besides communication. Even then, that's a requirement. So yeah, Cherish Ball, really good. Going to help the format a lot. And so like I said, let's go through the list one more time. I mean, we pretty much know what number 1's going to be, right? So in 10th place, we have Giant Furnace. Going to be good on Fire decks. 9 is going to be Naga Needle. Don't know exactly how this is going to work just yet. I do want to see it like in a Stakataka Naga Needle deck, but even then, I'm still kind of skeptical. It has a really good Ultra Conversion. I love that ability, but you do have to discard an Ultra Beast. How do you get those Ultra Beasts back out? I have no idea. I haven't looked at deck lists for this card just yet. At 8th place, we have Val GX. Be able to use that Shadow Connection to move your Dark basic energies around. It's going to be fantastic. You can easily switch between dark Pokemon, whether it's going to be, Darkrai, GX, you got Darkrai Prism, you got the Darkrai, the Mega Sableye and Trinitar GX. You got regular, if you play an expanded, right, you can play this with the regular Darkrai GX and do a ton of damage that way. There's also Greninja and Zoroark. A very strong card for how many Dark Energies you have. And I'm going to be interested to see if you're going to play this like Naga Needle, if you're going to play this with the Sharpedo, if you're going to play this with Electro GX. I think Electro GX is probably the worst of the three. But they all have their disadvantages, right? I mean, we'll cover the Dark stuff later. I definitely want to test Dark. I definitely want to see if it can work, but I'm a little bit skeptical for Dark. In Expanded, I do expect to be very, very played, but in Standard, we'll see for sure. Umbreon, oh my goodness, I lost my placing. 9, 8, 7, 6. Umbreon and Darkrai, build a Black Lance, hit some bench Pokemon, set up the knockouts is great. 6th place is Habu, new supporter card, be able to look at your cards. There is more supporter cards as well, but Habu is making the place. Like I said, very specific card base, but once you find out where it goes with, you're good to go. 5th place, Great Potion. It's great to heal your GXs, pretty simple. 4th place, we have a new kind of card for our Lightning decks. Raichu, Lola Raichu. Be able to Lightning Ride, take those big knockouts. It's going to be cool. Tandem Shock as well. Paralyzation, it's going to be great. Zeraora still in the game. Free Retreat's good to go. In 4th place, Reset Stamp. Wait, no, 3rd place is Reset Stamp. A new in, we know how good in was. I'm excited to see how good Reset Stamp's going to be. And number 2, we have Cherish Ball. And then number 1, of course, it's going to be Mewtwo and Mew GX. Now, if you're not going to be in any upcoming regionals and stuff, or any upcoming cities, or not cities, sorry, cups, the first thing I would say is don't buy these straight away because there is a 10 coming out, so save your money if you can. If you absolutely need it, then buy it. I'm not going to stop you, right? But 270 HP tag team, it's probably one of the best tag teams we've got, right? There's a reason why it's number 1, and it has that ability Perfection. This Pokemon can use the attacks of any Pokemon GX or EX on your bench or in your discard pile. It basically says, hey, I'm going to be whoever I want to be. I'm going to tackle with whatever I want to be, and we're going to be good to go. Miraculous Duo GX does 200. This Pokemon has at least 1 extra energy attached to it. In addition to this attack, heal all damage from all of your Pokemon. That's actually a pretty good GX just from the start. 200 damage is a lot, but Mewtwo Mew, it's going to be so good because you can play any of these decks I was just talking about. You can now play it in Darkrai. You can copy in your Dark Pokemon. You can move your Dark Energy to Mewtwo and attack with it when your Pokemon on your bench or in the discard pile to hit for weakness. Maybe you're weak to something, or maybe you want to hit it for weakness. This can help that matchup. Same thing with the Lightning decks. Now the Lightning decks, it's like, all right, I'm playing against a fighting deck. I don't want to tackle my Lightning. I got Mewtwo and Mew. We're good to go. Another really good card. It has a 270 HP. It can use anybody's attacks. Remember that. So that's a crazy thing. It's same thing if you're playing the Malamar decks, right? You can use it. You can copy it. There's also a new card with Jirachi that makes it where you have your Pokemon don't. I think it's your Pokemon don't have no weakness, or your Psychic Pokemon don't have no weakness. Let me look it up just real quick because I know people are going to ask questions and be like, "No, Josh, you don't know what you're talking about." Jirachi GX, don't apply weakness. Don't apply Psychic weakness when Pokemon, both yours and your opponents, take damage from attacks. So that's a big thing there. Now your Mewtwo's don't have weakness. That's a pretty cool thing. And like I said, you can play this in your Malamar decks. You can copy any attacks there. Any deck that you play, Mewtwo can be played. It could be a 1-of, it could be a 2-of in any of your deck. It is fantastic. It's a great card. In your water decks, if you're playing the Naga Needle Quagsire or something like that, you can use it in that list. You can also even make your own toolbox deck. You can make it, whatever you want to. And Expanded, you can make Mewtwo Mew attack for 1 energy with like cards like Dimension Valley. So be able to copy, use your Dimension Valley, make it where you have 1 less energy is fantastic. So that's going to be played as well. Mewtwo Mew is probably the strongest tag team card ever printed. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be the best tag team ever printed. I mean, the ability is perfect, like I said. It is literally perfect. Obviously, it does have some flaws, though. Of course, I talked about it a little bit. You have Power Plant to shut down it. That's pretty much the big one in Standard and Expanded. You do have ways to shut down Mewtwo GX. The big one is going to be Garbodor with that Garbotoxin to shut down Perfection. And probably some ways as well that I'm just not thinking on top of my head. Maybe a Loaded Muck. Sure, yeah, that should sound basic Pokemon. Let's go for it. So yeah, Mewtwo Mew, it does have weaknesses, right? But it is still really, really good. It's going to be counted. It's going to be played. It's going to be everywhere. Watch out because it's easily splashable in any deck. In any deck, you see a Pokemon get discarded that it's like a stage 2 and you don't see the basic on the bench. Watch out for Mewtwo Mew GX. It's going to come down. It's going to smack you in the face, and your opponent's going to destroy you. So this is easily the #1 card. There's a reason why everybody voted it as this #1 card. So yeah, it's going to go down as probably the best card. And I would definitely agree with that. I think it is the best card from the new set. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any recommendations, like I said, there's a ton of other decks that we could have shown off for cards, but this was a top 10 list that the community voted. So Mewtwo Mew, I think it's not moving. Let's try it again. Mewtwo Mew, Cherish Ball, Recess Stamp, Raichu, Alolan Raichu, Great Potion, Habu, Umbreon, Darkrai, Weavile, Naga Needle, Giant Furnace, and there we go, guys. There's a top 10 list from Unified Minds. Sorry, Aerodactyl didn't make the list, but Mewtwo Mew, of course, did make the list. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. If you have any ideas for Unified Minds, let me know. Like I said, here in a couple weeks, I'll be playing games against my friends and testing it out, and they'll have the Worlds invite, and they'll be playing for Worlds, and we'll be testing in the rotation. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you tomorrow for Thursday. Alrighty, bye.